So, all good things must come to an end. Well, not to a complete end, because of course we continue this afternoon with the parallel sessions, but as this is the last plenary session, it is also the right place for me to thank you all for having come to this event and do a bit of a wrap-up. I would like to start by thanking the 4 previous speakers. For me, at the end of the day, we spent a lot of time, and there's a lot of sweat and tears and money going into building the infrastructure that we provide. And it is, I can tell you, it is really cool to go out and procure the largest machines in the world. But it is even cooler to actually see them being put to good use. And I think we can all agree that the 3 projects that were presented here were a really good use of HPC resources. What I also think is sometimes we get, just because of the size difference, we in any graph, of course, our 3 big machines will always stand out. However, I do need to emphasize that the petascales, mid-range machines, the science that comes out of those is just as great. And I think the presentations here demonstrated that. There is a lot of really, really cool projects running on, let's just call them the smaller machines. They're not small by any means. They're just smaller than the big ones. And they actually fit very well with, as you can see, with some projects that do not need the huge machines, but they produce really, really good science. And I would love to have spent even more time on the users at this conference, because at the end of the day, it is why we are spending all of this money. It is not for me to sign off on contracts. It's cool, and it's really, really cool to see something like Jupiter that's now being built in Jülich come together. It's a long journey. There's always bumps along the way. We need to work through them, and it's really nice when we can inaugurate them. But it's even nicer to see them being put to good use, as we've seen here today. And as I said, I would love to spend more time on it, which is also why I want to highlight that we have what we've established is a completely separate conference that we dedicate to exactly that. Because it was always the issue as more and more work, if we can call it that, or areas of work has been loaded onto the GU, these days have become more and more packed. And therefore, it becomes problematic to serve everything the way we would want it. I think we found the right balance. I hope you agree with that in this setup. With I really like the way it's gone with the quantum days, and we of course focus on AI, but also on the HPC part. But what we have is we have our user day where we are going to only focus on the output of the infrastructure, and we'll get back to that. So thank you to the 3 previous speakers. It was really interesting to see. I also really enjoyed. I mean, that's just because my background is computer science and not the science. So I really enjoy when someone is up there explaining how they actually manage to optimize the code. And for me, that's also one of the very important things. We need to be careful that we don't get lazy. Because the machines get bigger, we still need to optimize the code and get most out of them. So it's really nice to see that the projects are taking that very seriously. And of course, nice to hear that the process of getting access was perceived as adequate, and also that the support that you got along the way was equally. What I also really enjoyed hearing was the statement that it's not a problem that Lumi is not based on NVIDIA GPUs, because I think that was that was a bit of an uphill battle in the beginning, but it's just really good to see projects succeeding and producing good science and really good results, because that, I'm sure, will attract further projects. I also want to thank speaker from CERN. I've actually had the pleasure of being invited to CERN and also go underground. It's absolutely amazing. It's deeply fascinating to see. I would make a little advertisement though. You don't need to go underground. There's recently a new visitor center that was set up, and it's really good fun. It's really well done. So if anyone's in the area, it's really worth doing. Yeah. So with that. Just going through my list of what I need to make sure. So we've come to the end of the plenary. So from that point of view, it's time for me to say goodbye to you all. But we'll still be here, and the parallel sessions will be going on. So please don't go away. And I'm sure there's yet another really good lunch and some good coffee breaks before you leave. I want to thank you all for coming here. I think one thing is what goes on the stages and in the rooms and the good discussions there. But what I also truly enjoy is bumping into each and every one of you in the coffee breaks, at the lunch, and so on. The good conversations, and I think at least what I take away from here is there was a lot of happy people, and I think there's a lot of people we can thank for that. And it's not just the content in the sessions, but it's also the venue. I mean, what a fantastic venue, and the fantastic support that we've had from CypherNet in putting this together, and of course also from Videlio, who's doing everything you see, all the magic that goes on the screens. Is provided by them, and thank them. I want to thank them for the help, and of course I also must thank my team, who's been working tirelessly together with the people from CypherNet to make this event happen. And then, of course, finally, I want to thank the presidency, the Polish presidency, for everything that they have done to support this event. So, without further ado, let me see how. Yep. So, this is really, where you say the envelope, please. Now, of course, a simple Google on who has the next presidencies could also do it. But basically, I am looking forward to seeing every one of you again in Cyprus at the next EuroHPC event. But and it will be in March. But before that, I would actually invite you all to Copenhagen. And it is for me, although it may not come across in my accent, I am Danish, and it is actually really nice to actually have an event that's hosted in Denmark. We haven't done that before. This is first for everything. So I'm really looking forward to, in Copenhagen, having our user days, and it is with an S, days. We're going to take the time to hopefully take you through even more great projects than what we've seen today. So please put it in your calendar. The dates are already known, and I have to say I'm looking forward to that. And then with that, I want to thank you all for joining us again here in Krakow, and I look forward to bumping into each and every one of you along the year.